when it comes to attracting women, a good rule of thumb is to do something that the average guy who was talking to a woman would not do, right? What would the average guy do? He'd be super nice. He'd be afraid to step on any toes, right? He'd be afraid to rock the boat, afraid to make a move, all this other stuff. And he'd be very, like I said, very polite, very, very cordial, all this type of stuff. So a good rule of thumb to attracting women is to do a couple things here and there that put you a little bit outside the box that the average guy wouldn't do. And based on that, back in the day, I came up with a type of a technique to build attraction that was doing exactly that, breaking outside of the box. And I'll just get right into it. We called it, well, I defined it as calling it out. When you're in an interaction with a woman, you call something out about the situation, okay, and just state how it is. Now, the easiest way for me to explain this to you, because it can build a lot of attraction, and it's something you should definitely incorporate into your interactions. The easiest way for me to explain this to you is to give you an example. So the first time I ever saw this was from one of my former instructors 10 years ago on my first program. And I remember we were talking to two girls together. He was being my wingman, talking to two girls, and my girl really wasn't feeling it. So I whispered over to him halfway through the interaction. I said, "Hey man, my girl, we should probably go talk to some other girls. They're not really feeling this." And then right then, he addressed the whole group. He goes, "Oh, these girls hate us." He goes, "They totally hate us, but you know what? It's whatever. It's all good." And then he just kept talking. And when he said that, the girls laughed, and they actually got way more attracted to us and actually flipped like a pancake. So what he was doing was calling out the situation for what it was. So me, I'm trying to have this little side conversation of what's going on in my head, but he just said it straight out to him. It showed massive power, massive dominance over the interaction, and showed he really didn't give a shit as well too. He was just kind of taking ownership and owning the interaction. And this is something to use, sparingly. You don't want to use this every single second in your interactions, but it's something to be aware of. You could use this in so many ways. You can use this even through a text message, right? Say you're texting with a girl and she seems kind of flaky. Like, "Hey, you seem like you're giving me some short one-word responses or whatever here. Like, if you don't want to meet up, that's cool. Let me know. I don't have to be bothering you," right? You just want to call the situation out for what it is. It's kind of like setting boundaries as well too. You just want to call it out for what it is. I'll be talking to a girl, she got her arms crossed, and like, "You got your arms crossed, you seem pretty close off to the interaction." And then she'll just be like, "Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about something," or whatever. I remember one night I was out and I was talking to these girls and it was being really funny and they weren't into it, and I said the same thing to my buddy. I was like, "Man, dude, I'm trying," and I said it loud so she could hear it, right? I was like, "I'm trying, but dude, I can't win this girl over, dude. She just is not into it." And then she heard that and she apologized. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. We were just out really late last night. I'm really tired. But no, I do want to talk to you." So then we moved over to the side and slowed the conversation down and wound up having a conversation. So just calling the situation out for what it is or how things are going can be super powerful. Another way I've been doing a lot recently, which has been working really well, is I'm talking to girls and they say, "What are you up to tonight?" And I just straight up say, I said, "I came out to hit on girls. I wanted to come out and approach girls that I was attracted to and then see how things go." And I will say that straight up to the girls. I will take ownership of what the situation is. And I've said that before to girls, and if they get turned off by it, then things aren't going to go well, right? But I've said that to some girls and they're like, "Awesome, I think that's great." I met a girl the other night and she said, "Oh, they were trying to find the bathroom and they were on a mission." And I was like, "What's your mission? To meet hot guys?" And then she goes, "Oh yeah, that too," right? And I just kind of called that out and threw that in there, and then the interaction wound up going super well, right? So when you're in an interaction, if things are going well, you could call it out. If things aren't going well, you could call it out. If she's doing something that you don't like, you could call it out. But you want to take the opportunity to say it like it is, right? And just shoot from the hip, wear your heart on your sleeve, and just say what's going on, right? And I do this a lot, like I said, when it comes to making plans with a girl. I'll be like, "Look, I'd like to see you, and if you want to hang out, let's do it. If not, no worries. I wish you the best of luck, but let's not waste each other's time." I'll say things like that and call things out, because at the end of the day, it comes from me being a guy who values his time, who doesn't want to waste time, who isn't afraid of rejection. That's another thing too. When you say things like that, it's like, "Look, you're not going to hurt my feelings." I'll say that to girls too, like, "Hey, look, if you don't want to talk to me, you can go. You're not going to hurt my feelings." And when a girl sees something like this, a glimpse inside you like that, she's like, "Wow, this guy you know, he must have other options. He must have abundance, and it winds up building attraction. So, like I said, this is something to use sparingly, but if you find a situation to use this, it can be super powerful, and it could turn interactions around completely. So I really want to share this technique with you, man, and definitely incorporate this in your interactions. If you have situations that you think you could use this, or you have questions about how to use this technique, just add them to the comments below, and I'll respond to you. But definitely add this into your arsenal. And if you have any questions for me, or any topics that you would like me to cover here on video for you, just add it to the comments below.